Okay, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you my top 3 go-to meal preps, which are going to be quick and easy to cook. So meal number 1 is going to be a high fat, high protein but low carb meal. So perfect if your cutting and your carbohydrates are quite low for the day. So this one is going to be very straightforward, and it's going to be a rump steak, 250 grams of rump steak, and then a whole pack of asparagus. So what we're going to do, we're going to fry the asparagus, fry the steak together. Literally going to take about 10 minutes, and that is meal 1 done. So instead of using full fat olive oil, I advise you guys to use this fry light. So this fry light is 1 calorie spray. Olive oil, I believe they have a butter flavoured one, and they've also got like a barbecue garlicky one, but I personally like just to have the plain and simple olive oil. This will absolutely change your life if you introduce this into your diet and cut out your olive oil. So yeah, 1 calorie spray for cooking your steak and asparagus. And I tend to fry my asparagus just because I like it a little bit crispier. And with this meal, you could also very easily introduce either rice, maybe 80 grams of basmati rice, or maybe some chopped up white potatoes. But for me, this is a perfect meal on my rest day, as my carbs are low on a rest day. So I won't be needing the potatoes or rice today. So usually I'll put the asparagus in probably about 10 minutes before I actually put the steak in, because I like my steak quite medium. So I'll put this in for about 10 minutes before to get it nice and crispy and nice and cooked up. And what I'll actually do is snap it in half, so there's more portions. So my go-to seasonings for my steak and asparagus will be garlic granules, which is probably my favourite at the moment. We occasionally put a little bit of paprika on our veg, simple pepper, and the pink Himalayan salt. So if you are looking to have salt in your diet, I'd advise you to get your pink Himalayan salt instead, because it's got more nutrients in than normal table salt. So to make it easier to eat the following day, we cut it up into smaller pieces. We cut it into kind of like strips. So that obviously you're not faffing about in a tub trying to cut up a piece of steak, which might not be the most ideal situation. So we cut it up into smaller pieces, also means that it will cook faster. So this total meal will take literally 15 minutes to cook. And yes, we are throwing the garlic butter away, I'm afraid. So the key to cooking your asparagus and your steak is to have the hob not too high, so I have it about halfway. Meaning that you are not going to burn the asparagus. So now the asparagus has been in for 10 minutes, we're now going to put the steak in, and we're literally only going to put the steak in for about 5 to 6 minutes, because I like my steak medium. I'm not going to cook it for very long at all. Obviously if you like yours well done, then leave it in for longer. For me, I'm just going to put it in for about 5 minutes.
And hoping nothing goes wrong.
Grab your tubs, just the 1 tub for this. And there we go. So meal prep number 1 done. Very simple, 15 minutes to cook, very easy. So yeah, this is just going to be a high protein, high fat meal, low carb. Obviously I'll put the macros on the screen for you now. And this is personally something I really do enjoy, kind of on my rest days when I do have low carb for the day. So yeah, this is meal number 1. Meal prep numero 2. As you can probably tell, I've changed because it is the following day. 8 hex sausages, so these chicken sausages, fantastic macros. These are per 2 sausages, we've got 3.5 grams of fat, 2.9 grams of carbs, and 12.7 grams of protein, so not bad at all. So we're going to put an 8 into a pan. We're then going to be putting some broccoli in the steamer, and we're also going to be cooking some basmati rice, so about 80 grams of basmati rice in a pan. So to simply weigh the rice, you want to put the rice on the scales, you want to turn it on, and make sure it says 0 grams. You then want to pour. So this is our higher carb, high protein, but low fat option of the day. Put it on here until it says -80. Just about spot on.
But the basis of it all is this.
So with the sausages, you don't necessarily have to have 8, but I'm just having 8 because I'm having it over the course of 2 meals. So the rice should take probably about 10 to 15 minutes. You want to put a lid on it as well, but leave the spoon in the side so the lid is not completely on. And you do want to keep an eye on it just so it doesn't burn. Now that the chicken sausages are partially cooked, we now want to chop them into little pieces so we can mix it all together later on, and it's easy to put it in the tub. So we're going to chop them into very small pieces, more portions, makes you feel more full, and it makes the brain think that you're eating more food.
The existence, the physical universe, is basically a plate.
So once the broccoli is cooked, you want to chop it up into little bits and then mix that in with the sausages. You then want to mix the rice in with the sausages as well. Mix it all together, put a little bit of seasoning on, get it in your tubs, and there you go. Of garlic on it. Spot on. There we go, meal prep number 2 done. I'll put the macros on the screen for you now. Okay, so the third and final meal prep that I'm going to show you today is 250 grams of 5% mince with 80 grams of basmati rice, and that is going to be pretty much it. So we're also going to be cooking 2 small onions with a yellow pepper, and also mixing in some chopped tomatoes to create kind of like a saucy kind of thing for the mince, and then we're going to be mixing that in with the rice. Perfect meal. So firstly, once again, we're going to weigh out 80 grams of basmati rice, put it in a pan, get that cooking, put the lid on, keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't burn. We are then going to be putting the onions in a frying pan with a little bit of fry light. We're then going to be making sure the onions are nice and cooked before putting the mince in. We're then going to be putting the peppers in, and then the chopped tomatoes. So you can go for any mince that you like, but I personally go for the 5% mince, as it is obviously a lot lower in fat and it tastes just as good. So also with this meal prep, you can either opt for pasta or rice. Personally, I prefer to have rice because it's slightly lower in carbs, but you can very easily just make pasta instead and do exactly the same thing. So I personally like to make sure the onions are nice and brown before putting the mince in, purely because I do like a cooked onion, as kind of like raw onion is not the best in a mince. So make sure it's nice and brown. So we are now going to weigh out our 5% mince. We're going to be putting in 250 grams as 500 grams is just a little bit too much. So cook the mince till it's almost completely brown, and then you want to be putting in half a tin of these chopped tomatoes and then 1 full pepper. We then put in our choice of seasoning. So for me, I put a bit of pink Himalayan salt in, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of Cajun. Not too much, you don't want to overdo it, but just whatever you want. Because we've got chopped tomatoes in there and it's quite runny, we're going to drain some of the liquid out because we don't really want liquid sit at the bottom of our tubs. So just drain some of this out. It'll also maybe drain out some excess fat. So now that the mince is all cooked up and the sauce is all ready, and that the rice is all cooked up, we're going to mix the two together. So you can either put these separately in the tub, but personally for me it's just easier if I just mix the whole thing together. So we're going to mix in the rice with all the mince and everything, and that is job done. So here is the third and final meal prep of the day. I'll put the macros on the screen for you now. So yeah, looks great. 250 grams of mince, 80 grams of basmati rice. Spot on. Do that again.
Subscribe to Thomas Roundtree.
So yeah, that's going to be a wrap on today's video. They are my 3 kind of go-to meal preps, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. Something slightly different to the normal vlog. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, guys. As always, if you got to this point in the video, please comment meal prep down below. That'd be much appreciated. So yeah, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. make sure you like the video, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Peace. It's good, that one.
Subscribe to Thomas Roundtree, legend.